Heidi ho, my peeps. Well, I'm doing so. Oh, you can see how crazy my background is. I kind of like that. There's kind of an art to the disarray. Oh, I got to fix the screen. I just love my new computer. I love being able to make videos on it. It makes things so much easier. I just make my video, then I export it to a lower res file, and it uploads, as quickly as they ever have. I'm doing something so exciting, and I think to show you, I'm going to tip the computer down. I have not sat at my craft table in my craft room. Wow, it's been months and months. And I'm finally doing it. And although this isn't exactly a craft project, I'm going to show it to you anyway. Here we go. Going to tip down that computer screen so you can see what I'm doing. Yep, I'm painting address numbers. I got a little note from the CAL FIRE people saying that I needed to have the address on the side of my property so that they can see it. Now that we're doing, I say with the fires. I mean, like we've had fires this year, nothing compared to everywhere else. But our CAL FIRE's been real proactive about making sure they can get to the addresses that call and all of that. So, and often at times in a rural area, people don't, you don't automatically have your house numbers out for some weird reason. So anyway, I thought I would go ahead and get this job done. I'm going to have to put my glasses on to see. And sit here and talk to you guys while I'm doing it.
Yeah, especially considering that CAL FIRE is about 100 yards away from where the fire might be.
True. And I'm drinking coffee that Grant brought me in my beautiful mermaid cup that says, "Sorry, I'm too busy being a mermaid." My sister gave this to me for Christmas last year, and I love it. And, yeah, we're going to be, I'm going to get all these numbers. This is their third coat. And when I'm done with this, Grant and I have to take some stuff to storage. We're doing the Great Fall Storage Shuffle. So, but the idea is to get everything out of the storage that we have to pay for and get it into our own so that we're not making those big storage payments every month. And that's a worthy thing to be doing. So, yeah, I did 2 videos yesterday. I know I'm going to release this one, and I may release another one. It's felt really good to, to get back into the video making thing. I have been reading comments from my last 4 videos that I haven't commented back to you guys on yet. And there's a lot of questions, so I'm going to get to those questions. And just a lot of funny comments, and I want to get back to everybody. So please forgive this little lull in my comment answering. It seems like a lot of the time I'll be I will look. Is it what? Yeah. I'll look at comments late at night, and so I'll be lying there on my back with my phone, and I start answering them, or I talk, to answer them. And before I know it, I'm asleep, and my phone is on my forehead, and I wake up, and I've passed out. I do that a lot lately. I just sort of pass out. It's the oddest thing. I don't do it in a dangerous situation like driving. Although I do have to say I've had a couple of instances the past couple months where I've been driving in the morning and felt super, super tired, and I could feel myself getting the slow blinks, that scared me. Luckily that happened when I was close to home, so I turned the radio up, rolled down the windows, blasted the air conditioner, sat up straight, got home just fine, and I'm becoming a little bit more attuned to that, you know, when I'm feeling super tired. But anyway, so I'm wondering if any of you guys are, as you become decrepit old crones like I am, if you're noticing this this thing where all of a sudden you'll pass out at night when you're eating ice cream in front of the TV or something. Oh God, my kid's piano teacher, who passed away a few years ago, she, well, I started taking my son to her when he was, I believe he had just turned 5. Oh, he wanted to play the piano so much. So I found a teacher and we started going to her, and he took piano from her on and off until he was 17 years old. And anyway, as she got a little bit older, she would tell me about how in the evening she and her husband would sit down in front of the television to watch their favorite shows, and he'd get her a bowl of ice cream. She was a tiny little thing. And he'd get her a bowl of chocolate ice cream, and they'd be sitting there. Next thing she knows, it's 2:30 in the morning. She's lying there in her recliner, all passed out, ice cream dribbling all down her shirt. Husband's over in his recliner, just sleeping away. Well, now Grant and I are doing that. Although I haven't fallen asleep with ice cream yet. We'll sit in the recliner and watch Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, which is our latest thing that we're addicted to. And either one or the other of us will just pass right out. Oh, Lord. Getting old has its funny parts. It really does. So, anyhow, it feels so good to sit here and do something semi-crafty, even though this doesn't count. I've actually been sitting in my recliner doing crafty things the past week. I made a dog bed for my friend Frank. Well, actually, it's not for Frank. It's for his dog, Taz. And that took me a while to figure out how to make something that I thought was appropriate for our Taz, because Taz is quite the sartorial dog. He's very, very very spiffy, very dapper. So I had to make sure I made something that was dapper. Couldn't look girly. It had to look good. I've never heard Taz bark, but I imagine he barks with an English accent. So I got Taz's bed done, and then my friend Angel asked if I could crochet an old-fashioned Christmas stocking. All red with a white cuff at the top. Oh man, I haven't seen a red and white crocheted stocking, I mean not a contemporary one, in years and years and years. So she sent me a photo, and I duplicated the photo. I mean, what I saw in the photo, I duplicated it to the best of my ability in crochet. I think it turned out really, really good. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I need to decorate that for her now with the kid's name, and then I'll send that to her. So I have been doing stuff, but it's been heavily weighted on the side of crochet. Yesterday, although you can't tell by looking behind me because I didn't do that on that side of the room, but yesterday Grant and I took a little bit of time, did a little bit of organizing. I went through all of the craft supplies I've been collecting, the new ones, for about a year now. Back when my mom was still alive, I'd go to the store, I'd go to Daiso in San Francisco with Leanne or whatever, and I'd bring back all these craft supplies, and I showed you guys a lot of them as I was collecting them. Well, they've all been going into this big black bin, and plastic bin, and so I finally went through them and kind of not exactly organized, but I just kind of refreshed my memory as to what I had, and I was thinking of the projects I want to do. I've been thinking, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion about this, but I've been thinking about doing a live hangout crafting thing. I have a project. The first project I want to do is, well, actually, I'll tell you what it is. It's a Halloween fascinator. You know what a fascinator is? It's a big, huge hair accessory. Often has flowers or feathers or something, and you put it up on the side of your head, generally, for like going to a party, or if you're going to a wedding, or in this case, it would just be a kind of a costume thing to wear on Halloween night when you go out with your husband or whatever. And so I came up with this really cool hair thing that you can do with a hair comb, using Dollar Tree stuff, and it's adorable. So I was thinking, well, maybe what I'll do is do a live hangout and do this craft thing on the live hangout. So I'm wondering, would that be interesting to you guys, or would it bore you to watch me sit there with a glue gun in my hand and, you know, listen to me yammer on about what I did that day? I don't know. I want to know what you guys want. If you want me to do that, I'll do it. So comment in the section below. Let me know. Let's see. So what else is going on? I'm having these just bizarre mood swings. As many of you have noticed from my videos, I'll have a day when I'm down, or there'll be 2 or 3 days when I don't release a video. And all y'all know what that means. It means I'm in bed, or I'm, you know, feeling like the world's coming to an end or whatever. And then I will wake up and it will be gone. And I will be my old self again like I am today. Have no idea what's causing it. I've tried to pay attention to things like, you know, like, am I eating too much sugar, or, you know, is the gout coming on, or, you know, have I been thinking about my mom and dad, or, you know, what's the deal? And I can't really identify anything that's consistent. I don't know. Could just be, you know, old crone hormones for all I know. I just don't know. But I gotta say, my husband, that man is a saint. He is a rock when I'm going through this stuff. Doesn't give me any crap, doesn't push me, tries to, you know, bring me stuff that'll make me feel better, coffee or roses, which is lately the thing I'm getting on a daily basis. He goes out and he finds the most beautiful rose that's out on our rose bush and brings it in and puts it in a bud vase. In fact, the other day he came home and he had bought me another little vase for our rose thingy, and it is a tiny little vase pot thing. I don't have it here, I'd show you, and I don't feel like getting up. So anyway, that's made of pottery and glazed, and it was made at a potter studio up here. And I have several pieces that this potter studio has made. A lot of my coffee cups were made by these people, and then I've also got bowls and different things. So he brings me this tiny little, you know, urn-shaped little bud vase. So I thought that was really neat. I like having stuff that was made by local artists, and there are a lot of them up here in the foothills. You know, you don't see them all the time. They tend to come out of the woodwork, you know, when there's one of the big craft shows that we have up here. Occasionally you'll see them in the grocery store. But there's a lot of people squirreled away up in these hills who do some pretty amazing things with pottery and wood and glass. There are a lot of people who make Bath and Body Products soap and stuff. Goat milk soap is big because there's a lot of goats, so people, you know, kind of grow their own materials. And then there are a lot of people who work with fiber up here, people who raise goats or sheep or alpaca for fiber. And I actually was one of those people. I mean, I had, I don't know, 9 or 10 alpaca at one point, and we shear them every year. And I still have boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of fiber that, what are you doing, Mia, that I haven't used? You can't be walking around here. You're going to get wet paint on your little paws. She's so curious. She always wants to know what I'm doing. But, you know, my alpacas were all rescue, and they were all older, so they're beginning to pass away. You know, they live to be somewhere around 20 or something, and then they pass away. So I have 3 young ones and a middle-aged one left. So, and you know, it's funny. I haven't had them shorn in a couple of years, which, you know, I guess I actually thought that they had to be shorn every year, but they don't. Their fur does not grow forever. It at least, you know, mine got to a certain length, and that's as far as it's grown. But just in order to keep them nice and tidy and all of that, shearing them yearly or at minimum every other year is the best idea. Good girl, she got off the table. So that's something I need to start paying attention to. I need to get the shearer out. We no longer have sheep. All our sheep have died. I lost my last old sheep, as a lot of you guys know, earlier this summer. So, you know, time marches on. So I'm done with my letters. I am going, not letters, they're numbers. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you now, and, you know, get back to me and let me know if you'd like to see some live hangouts with crafts. I have another friend who, we had talked about doing this a couple of years ago, so I'm going to contact her and see if she wants to do this with me again or still. But yeah, that's where my head's at. So I'm going to talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. See if I can hit the off button.